Hello, beautiful people. My name is Melka, and welcome to Mega Stitches. I come today with another short story about how other families experience joy in the seasons, Christmas seasons. The title of this story is called Sharing a Legacy of Love. Compromise is not a spice of life, it is solidity. It is what makes nations great and marriages happy. Phyllis McKinley. And the story says like this. When my mother died at the age of 84, my four sisters and I were heartbroken. How could we ever get over the loss of this warm and loving woman, a talented artist who enjoyed life in spite of its challenges and always doted on her husband, daughters, and grandchildren. For weeks after, my sister and I would meet for dinner, laughing and crying over old memories. When it came time to sell the home my mother loved, we spent many days in disbelief, clearing out her belongings. I remember reading in Ann Lander's column years earlier that discussed how many siblings fighting bitterly over the possessions left by their deceased parents. I thought, how lucky we are that we'll never have to, go through this and this will never happen to us. Somehow, we easily and peacefully divided mom's belongings, furniture, jewelry, and household items among ourselves and a few charities. Although I expected there might be a tug of war over her paintings, that never happened. Pretty good considering there were 5 daughters and 4 grandchildren. No conflicts, squabbles of disputes at all. Until we discovered the old nativity set in a box of mom's closet. I remember mom telling the story of how she acquired the manger. An old friend who did carpentry work gave it to my mom and dad as a Christmas gift when they were first married. My sister, Aileen, however, remembers it differently. Mom told her she found the crochet in a garbage can belonging to Mrs. Bingham, the elderly lady who lived across the street from us. Unlike some of the ornate versions found in today's stores, this manger was crafted from dark wood and completely ornate, just a roof, a floor, and a railing surrounding it. Though beautifully crafted, there was one flaw. One side of the double gate in front was lopsided. Mom filled it with 3 figurines to start: Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus. For many years after, she continued to add others: the wise men, shepherds, angels, and animals. As kids, we loved the annual rites of the Christmas season, especially taking the nativity set and decorations down from the attic and carefully putting them in place. When the sisters, all married and grandchildren, came along, they added new characters of their own to the stable, including a set of 3 little pigs. After Mom's death, when the nativity set emerged, no one was prepared for the battle that would follow. My sister Joanne was the first to claim the manger, insisting it was the only one of Mom's possessions that she really wanted. Her wish was granted. But when my niece Mandy found out, she called from her apartment in California to voice her objection. She was clearly emotional as she repeated a decades old promise made to her by my mom. Nanny promised me that I could have the nativity set when she was gone, she cried. The nativity set belongs to me. Joanne felt strongly that as Mom's daughter, she had first dibs. Neither she nor Mandy would budge. When the disagreement showed signs of becoming a full-blown family feud, we realized something had to be done. Enter the family arbitrator, my sister Aileen, who somehow saw through the fog. But as Mandy's mother and Joanne's sister, could Aileen handle this dilemma fairly? Temporarily, she set aside the emotion of the dispute and thought logically. The nativity set was just a wooden stable, not an irreplaceable masterpiece of art. The beauty was in the eye of the beholders. The perception of two people who coveted a simple item owned by someone they loved. Couldn't a copy be created? Of course. She would order the wood from the lumber yard and get someone to build a second manger. The following day, Aileen went to the central millwork and stood in the line behind several contractors ordering lumber from a young man with a crew cut. He was wearing a tag with his name, Brett, written in green magic marker. When Aileen turn came, she had to shout over the sound of the buzzing saws. She pointed to the nativity set in her arms and told him the story, explaining that it was causing a major rift between her sister Joanne and her daughter Mandy. Brett took the stable from her, held it up with one hand, and laughed. They're fighting over this? Yes, Aileen explained. I know, it seems crazy, but it was my mother's and they both love her so very much. Is there any way you could measure and cut some wood so we could have a duplicate built? Brett said, leave it here. I'll see what I can do. Aileen left, hoping he could come up with a minor miracle. That's what it could take to satisfy the two women in her life that were squabbling. A few days later, she received a phone message saying that her order was ready. When Aileen arrived at the hardware store to pick up the wood, she couldn't believe what she saw. Two identical stables sitting side by side. Brett had not only cut and measured the wood, he had built a second manger. I know you wanted them to look the same, so I added a couple of things and flaws that were in the original. Hope that's okay. Sure enough, the new stable had the same loop-sided front gate. Okay? Aileen said in tears, you have no idea what this will mean to my sister and my daughter. The entire family. I don't care what this costs. Your work has saved the day. That will be $3.75 for the material, Brett said. When Aileen insisted on paying him more, he said, I didn't do it on company time. I built it at home, so I won't charge you for the labor. He pointed to the new manger. I hope this helps your family have a merrier Christmas. Aileen left Brett with a large tip and a big hug of thanks. When she got home and called Joanne and Mandy about her creative solution, they were very happy and extremely relieved that the problem was resolved. One phone call later, Joanne and Mandy had agreed that Joanne will take possession of the new stable as well as some of the old figurines, including Mary, Joseph, and the infant. Mandy will get to keep the original just as Nanny promised. Kathy Melania Levine. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this short story, and I wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Ciao, ciao.